Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Leadership Power Paradigms webinar series. This is Bill Thomas, your host and presenter for today's episode. And as is our custom, of course, we will wait just a few more moments before we begin our slide presentation. So if you bear with me, just like I said, for a few more moments. Uh, we will begin very close to being on time. So, oh, yeah, right. I got one more thing to do here. Let's see. Let's go that there and back over here. And so let's see. Where's our slideshow? There it is. Hello and welcome everybody to this episode of Leadership Power Paradigms webinars. This is Bill Thomas, your host and presenter for today's show. And in these 14 or so minutes of our time together, we are going to dissect and describe the power elements, purposes, and principles which can help leaders envision a reality which should become true, productive, and profitable in its existence. So let's get going. A successfully produced or truly manifested envisioned reality must be inspired by something, some entity, or some being we acknowledge that is higher than ourselves. Every envisioned reality must contain an element of substance or concreteness. It must connect with one or more human beings. It has to employ a communications device. It is a message which symbolizes and describes an image or idea of a desirable situational construct that should take form in a future setting or in another location of the space-time continuum. The time and place for the vision to become reality might be defined, set, or fixed. It might be remote or unspecified. It might be signified or signaled by the appearance or coincidence of other events and realities. When leaders are envisioning a future reality, another mission or program, or a new product or service offering, they must follow the calling of an ideal place, person, or thing, and they must also make what is available today a more ideal person, place, or an ideal thing, so that their efforts can be transformed into a greater production of wealth, creativity, or ideal states. In a word, if the picture of your envisioned reality is not filled with ideals and ideal things, your vision will not become a successfully prosperous reality. This process of idealizing your images, pictures, or visions of possible realities must include more than the mere object or ideal itself. Of course, there must be something else included in this idealizing process, and that thing has to be and contain a form of energy, a catalytic agency, or a metaphysical force. So we'll need to look into those energizing agencies. Every good recipe features a set of actions. It also describes the amounts and durations of energy required. And good recipes instruct us on how to blend together and make connections between various ingredients that will produce that mouth-watering dish of deliciousness you desired. In short, every profitable or prosperous envisioned reality must include as many ideals or idealized concepts, priorities, and goals as you can possibly think of and draw upon. As you may have already guessed, Any idea or wish is actually information in disguise, and we now live in the age where information is the new form of energy. That is, the model for technology is what we must now follow if we wish to succeed in today's world, society, or economy. So, what all this means is simply this: all of your leadership success now and in the future totally depends on your ability or competency to understand the biological or life giving, life sustaining, and life regenerating processes which occur within your social activities, social niches, and social systems. The last slide told us that information is the most critical form of energy, and I insist that there are definite, discrete, and distinctive forms of social energies which leaders need to think about and use in each of their socially based activities, society's ecological niches, and social ecosystems, which can help them deliver information oriented beneficial effects of vibrant, vivid, and vital life. Some examples of these information enriched social energies would include instructions, insights, interviews, investigations, interrogations and questionings, indicators, inspiring statements, and so on. And to help you broaden your spectrum of seasonings on and add more flavor to your envisioning of future realities, you would need to borrow these principles, strategies, and ideas concerning your leadership agency from the biology of signification. Notice how these four forms of agency, which are catalytic in nature, or change causing and change accelerating forces, can help leaders to center and stabilize their enterprise, provide their people with a moral focus and support, integrate choice and conflict in all social encounters, and smooth out the roughness of coarse reality, yet finish with a fine and tasty future. Using the ideals, idealized insights, the power generating social energies, the key and connective social interactions should empower your practices, processes, and philosophy of leadership to aspire to and achieve many of the attributes suggested in these three desirable traits. In a word, you will envision better realities as you continually develop your ability, enhance your strengths and natural talents, and sharpen or expand your insights and perspectives. Every leadership philosophy speaks to how an individual leader aspires to and deals with the challenges of attaining their personal and professional versions of God, glory, and gold. So, ideally, if you hope to envision or achieve your most desirable realities, then these four concepts can and should be thoroughly explored, completely expounded upon, and fully expressed by your own uniquely crafted leadership philosophy. The importance of a leadership philosophy is described in each of these applications, which involve the leadership action of transmitting, receiving, or exchanging blocks of empowering and energizing information that are contextually rich, highly constructive, and creatively connecting in their nature. If you find any of these troublemakers in your leadership toolkit, and if you are leading without having a philosophy, a robust set of agencies, and socially energizing activities, how can you possibly think your desires for perfectly formed, envisioned future realities will ever see the light of day or work out in your favor? Well, my friends, while you work on constructing your perfectly formed envisioned reality, these 5 occupations will help you transform your leadership activities, social energies, and environmental connections into abundantly creative, wealth generating profit makers and significantly meaningful results. In this episode, we saw how the supremacy and ascendancy of our Lord and Creator God can inform, instruct, and inspire us to create substantially idealized, tangibly active, biologically significant versions of our envisioned realities, which can transform our employments of human capital into highly creative, wealth producing outcomes. This ends today's lesson. You are looking at the agenda that shows you what you will learn, practice, and master in our legendary Leadership Power tutorials and coaching monthly performance improvement support program. And in addition to these 9 critically important subject areas, you'll also participate in 2 uniquely helpful group coaching sessions each and every month. Our group coaching sessions are 75 to 90 minutes long, plus you will get another 60 minutes of private, confidential, one-on-one coaching and tutoring follow-up meetings with me each and every month. That's where you and I can share ideas, diagrams, um, strategies, exercises, case studies, and more. And I will send you DVDs and CDs, and I'll also email you links to access the hundreds of useful ebooks, papers, reports, articles, lessons, and video and audio tutorials. And you'll have free access to my 60 plus minute webinars and online classes each and every month. In so many ways, this is a custom-tailored, multimedia, blended learning program which is actually a better value than paying for a university-level PhD in leadership and practical management for less than a tenth of the cost of that kind of university program. If you want more proof, when you go to the page, scroll down to the bottom of the page at www.one-iam.com /LPP-legends. It's there at the bottom of this slide and also on the right-hand side of your screen. The button that says enroll and get started now will take you to that page, and it'll open up a new web browser tab for you so that you won't lose this page. And so you can do that right now while you're listening to me. But when you get to that page explaining the full panoply of the program that I just finished trying to describe to you, you'll see that at the bottom of the page there are a number of my former clients and current clients who have some good things to say about this type of program from me. So I encourage you to enroll and get started now. Just click that button on the right-hand side of the C side of your screen, and you'll open up a new web browser tab, and I'll see you there. Now, while you're doing that, and while you're clicking on that button, I'm going to run back over to my control panel over here. It's a real nice, nifty little thing, and that way I can send you let's see, I can send you the 2 bonus gifts for attending today's webinar, and I want to thank you for attending. The 2 gifts are the 5 leadership uplifter tasks infographic. It is an infographic. It is a PDF document, and it explains the 5 critical tasks that every leader has to perform in virtually every single one of your leadership actions. I think you'll find that to be extremely helpful and in providing you with a quick and easy guide to make sure that you're doing the right things at the right time. And the second bonus gift is my Words with Wisdom paper. It is 8 pages. It is titled The Rainbow Moment of Black Elk. And in that paper, which is really a cute one, I cover a number of the principles and ideas and strategies that I covered both in this episode of Leadership Power Paradigms as well as previous episodes of the Leadership Power Paradigm. So I encourage you to download both of those. In the case of the infographic, you might want to um, uh, download it and print it out, expand it so that you've got a one sheet of paper that you can look at all the time and put it on your desk or on your wall or something. And I think you'll find that to be helpful. And of course, the PDF. The PDF paper, of course, is something that you can read through and enjoy when you're doing that too. I'm just looking over here just to see if there's any comments. And as I'm doing that, I also want to remind all of you who are watching the replay recording of this episode of Leadership Power Paradigms, that also on the right-hand side of your screen, you will see a question box, and you can type in your question and then click the email button there, and it will automatically email your question to me, and it will include your name and the email address that you use to register for this episode. So no worries there. All you have to do is just type in your question or your comment concerning anything that I covered today or anything else to deal with leadership as a subject matter, which I know there's lots of things that people can think of that they'd love to get an answer to, or at least some direction on how to approach things. Also, if you want to have a conversation with me about your question or your comment, I would strongly encourage you to include your phone number if you're located in Canada or in the US. Just include your phone number and I'll give you a call, and then we can discuss my answers and some of my ideas about the question or comment that you typed in. Or if you're located outside of Canada and the United States, well, then I strongly urge you to include your Skype ID. Skype is something that most of the world uses, and I will give you a call on Skype. I love using Skype. In many cases, I think Skype is more preferable because not only can we speak together, but I can also type in some of my thoughts or some of the resources in the chat area of the Skype, the Skype control panel. And, that way you've got something written from me as well as the fact that sometimes I even say, well, listen, I wrote a paper or there's an article that I know about, and I'll upload that so that you can download it to your computer. And again, you can only do that on Skype. So, if you use Skype, I would strongly encourage you to include your Skype ID too. Okay. All right. Great. I look forward to speaking with you in our future episodes. This has been another episode, which I want to thank you for joining us on this episode of the Leadership Power Paradigms webinars. This is Bill Thomas, your host and presenter for today's episode. And I say God bless each and every one of you for attending, and Godspeed to you all. And I wish each and every one of you the very best of success in all of your leadership endeavors. I look forward to seeing you in a future episode of Leadership Power Paradigms. Take care and see you soon.